This is part two of my Steve Harvey show review from last week, and I went a little bit off on a tangent. So let me finish that little bit, and then we'll continue about the show. So after I explained to them at my current job back then, I wasn't working there, and I made it to Bennett, and I explained to him. So he pulled up the profile of this rapist, Charlottesville rapist, who was working at Harris Teeter, which eventually they do get this bastard who has two daughters and a family. And you would think that a man with daughters would be the last motherfucker on earth who would ever want to rape somebody because he has daughters, man. You don't rape people if you have a daughter. You don't want anybody even having sex or looking at your daughter. So why the fuck would you go around and rape people? Well, anyway, so he pulled up the profile. This guy's like 6'6" or 6'4". He's 265 pounds or 245 pounds. One way or the other, he's in the 6 foot range and he's well over 200 pounds. So a woman would have a little bit of a problem fighting this guy off, especially if she doesn't know how to fight. You know, a lot of people think they know how to fight, but come find out when the situation gets real, they might not be as great as they think they are. And, it happens. I'm not Bruce Lee. I know I can handle 2 or 3 people at a time. 5 or 6 guys, I haven't had a chance to try that out yet. Not saying that I'm not willing to. I'm more than willing to take an ass whooping just to see how good I actually am. However, shit happens. Everybody can lose. Everybody can win. It's just a matter of who's more prepared and who's more in shape and reflexing and training and shit. Moving back to what the whole situation's about. After that, I went the fuck off. Bruce showed up. I gave him the cliff notes, told him about the movie, and then I left. I hadn't been to the university more than maybe 15, 20 minutes. 30 at the most. I came back, and I went straight to the police station. I told them everything that happened. I told them the description of the damn serial rapist, described the ATF agents to a motherfucking T. And here's the part where people wonder why we don't talk to cops. These police officers here in Charlottesville, Virginia, laughed me right out the motherfucking police station. We don't have any authority over the ATF agents. They shouldn't have been fucking with you, but we don't really give a fuck. So your complaint doesn't mean anything. I filed a complaint that fell on deaf ears. You're cops. They're cops. And they wouldn't even take the fucking complaint. Oh, but they sent me around the block and up the hill to the U.S. Marshal's office. Guess what? The fucking U.S. Marshals did the same thing and didn't take the complaint and could care two shits about what I went through. Didn't give a fuck that these guys were like fixing to lay my body down so that they could have a body to put the case on. My mom was a career nurse. My dad, a truck driver, a dishwasher, and lots of other jobs. I was raised properly. I'm not a rapist. I'm not a killer. I'm a man of color. So if they were to kill me and put a throwdown on me, a man who's never owned a gun, who's never had any kind of criminal records outside of a fucking speeding ticket, something would have been more like on the Trayvon Martin thing, because, I never done anything wrong. I have been bullied in school, all through school. And to the 11th grade, I have been bullied. And all the kung fu in the world had no comparison to me worrying about going home and getting one of these on my backside for being like the rest of the stupid kids in school. So, I was raised properly. My parents didn't raise no drug dealer, no crackhead. I never ever really took a lot of drinks of alcohol. I mean, I did before I was 21. I'm not going to lie about it. But after I turned 21, I really didn't drink like talking about it. I drank every other weekend. The thing about being a drunk person and knowing that you have martial skills, it's probably not a good idea to get drunk if you can't control your liquor. So like 1 or 2 beers, I'm good. I get my buzz and I'm done. I don't get shit-faced drunk because of the times that I've tried it. I've tried to kill my best friends. So I don't drink because anger overload is only exacerbated or is accelerated by the emotion that you feel. Getting drunk doesn't help that. It makes it worse. I never smoked weed a day in my life. I've never done any drugs outside of alcohol. But these guys didn't give a fuck. They saw a black man. They wanted to end a black life because someone who was not black was raped and they needed a body. I was going to be that body even though I wasn't 6 feet tall. It gets better. My cousins, who were actually lighter than me, my cousin Pierre, my cousin JC, also at the time, have never done anything wrong. A couple of bumps and bruises with the law. Who has not had some minor run-in with the law? But nothing major. They weren't drug dealers. They didn't do anything like crime. But they also were accused of being the 6'4" rapist. JC's like barely 5'11". Pierre's shorter than me. But yet, we're niggers. So we're gonna be profiled. Even though we're multicultural and JC looks more like he could pass for a tan white man, Pierre's a light-skinned brother. He's just like me. We're both high yellow, but we're not as light as JC. But all three of us have one thing in common. We were accused of being the serial rapist. Now, fast forward, the Jesse Matthews thing, he was 6 foot something. We don't know if he was a serial rapist, but we do know that he killed 2 young white university ladies, and it took them forever to get him, but they got him. And some black people are bad, and some white people are bad, and some Asian people are bad, and some Native American people who also could be on as Asian people are bad. But not all of us are bad. But racial profiling, jumping to conclusions because a person is colored, is bad. You know, it's not cool. It's not cool at all to be assumed that you're something that you're not because of the color of your skin. That shit's not cool. That shit fucking sucks. And being a victim of that is something that I wanted to bring up while we were talking about the Steve Harvey show. And you know, I've never once considered raping a girl. Ever. I got 5 sisters, man. And I've always said, and I'll deny this in court, that I love my sisters. And if anybody ever raped them and it got back to me, that motherfucker wouldn't be breathing. At one time, you know, I was all about killing them. And when I joined the Army and learned how quickly life can be taken from you, the process has changed a little bit. So instead of killing them, we'll just say that their bodies will be completely non-functional from the neck down. But that's just my private philosophy on that. I know I don't have the right to take a life, even though in infantry that's my job, and they rake that shit in my head over and over and over again. So even more reason for me not to drink now, because infantry training is the shit. Enough said. I watched the young man who's a Black Matters activist hug the woman whose husband lost his life and he was a cop. I ain't got nothing but respect for them. Not all cops are bad. Not all cops are good. I've had a few run-ins with some cops, and I've had my life saved by some cops. Like, literally, I had another incident. Yeah, I'm one of those guys. I just stumble into shit, and it's not something that I'm proud of. It's just that, you know, sometimes good Samaritans get fucked. And this story is, the shit that happens to me, you just can't fucking write. I had a cousin who acquired one of his friend's vans after being kicked out of a club known as Wolfie's. This was the last good deed I've ever done for anyone after this. Just for the record, I don't do good deeds anymore because I'm always the one getting the finger when the good deed is done. So, I'm outside puking, and I've told you guys this story before, but I'm outside puking. He pulls up, and I don't know if he set me up for this ass whooping, but I decided that I'm going to help him out. So as we're driving up to Avon, he almost crashes into what is now Brown's. It used to be Stoney's. There's a bus stop there. Then he does it again at Montrose, and so I take over. I have no idea what's about to happen. So I'm driving around, you know, we ain't seen my cousin Tony. He's my Uncle Doc's only living child. And Uncle Doc died when we were all young, so Tony lost his daddy at a young age. Okay, that's no fucking excuse for getting your cousin in trouble. So we're driving up to Wolfie's, and I've never seen a grown man skip to a fight before. Clearly, that was something new to me, because usually when I get into a fight, I'm actually ready for a fight. You know, I'm always squared up, let's do this thing. And, you know, most brothers, they sidestep that skip. This guy was nowhere near that. This guy was skipping like a little girl. Skipped right up to the car. I slammed on brakes. I turned to face my cousin. Boom! Fist burger to the eye. Hit me right here. I hadn't been in a fight in a long time. And earlier that day, I had just said to myself, I hadn't been in a fight in so long, the first guy that hits me is probably going to knock me the fuck out. Okay, clearly I'm a lot tougher than I thought I was. Because the guy hit me, didn't even hurt me. And I looked at my cousin, like, who the fuck is this guy? And before I could finish what I was saying, that son bitch hit me again. Broke my glasses, cut my eye, and now I'm pissed. I'm not pissed that he broke my glasses. I'm pissed because he cut my eye. Like right above my eye where there already was a scar from me being stupid at 5. And I'm thinking to myself, this nigga didn't knock me out. So I stuck my hand out the window and said, you're fucking dead, buddy. And I was fixing to kill this bastard. But that fucking seatbelt saves lives. Not mine, his. So I'm getting it out. And by the time I get it out, there's this big 200 plus pound, I think he might have been about 4, white cop. He sits on me. He puts his hand under my neck. And he goes, I have you, son. I got you. You're not going anywhere. Well, my hand's on his gun. My hand is on his gun, literally. And I was like, actually, I've got you. My left hand's at your gun. Now, he had his right leg on my left leg. His gun is in right at my left hand. And my hand was, like, right on the fucking handle. All I had to do was twirl it up and use my thumb. He'd have been dead as dog shit. I didn't want him. I want the fucker that broke my fucking glasses and cut my fucking eye. And I told the cop, I said, actually, I got you. My left hand is on your gun. All I got to do is squeeze. It's like, well, I said, I don't want you. I want that motherfucker that just hit me in my eye and broke my glasses. And he goes, well, you stole his van. So I didn't steal a motherfucking thing. This is my cousin's van. Son, this is not your cousin's van. I let go of the gun. I handed him a motherfucking wrist. Clearly, I was driving it. I didn't steal the motherfucker. He came and got me. I was taking him back to them. And what I was taking him back to was the ass whooping that I couldn't avoid because my ass was stuck in a seatbelt. And being a good Samaritan. So, as I said, there was a cop there that saved my ass. And I'm getting there. So the guy's brother starts talking shit. Now I got handcuffs on, which for most of us martial artists who have been trained with our hands bound, either before us or behind us, we've been training. It depends on who your teacher is. I mean, you got a good teacher, he will teach you how to get out of anything. I'm that guy that was taught how to get out of anything. So you get the handcuffs, and this was before those locks like that. You had like at least good 4 inches, 4 or 5 links, maybe 4 inches, just enough to choke a person. So he starts talking. She says, hey, dude, you think these handcuffs deter me? I said, motherfucker, these are weapons. You might want to stay the fuck out of striking distance because my eyes bleed and I'm fixing to fuck up your brother, and then I'm going to fuck you up. And then I'm going to fuck up my cousin for letting this shit happen in the first goddamn place. So the cop starts telling me I can't threaten me. I said, hey, motherfucker, you already sending me to jail for something I didn't do. Let me go ahead and give you a fucking reason when I kill all 3 of these motherfuckers. So the cop, they saves my ass. I can't remember your name, but first let me thank you. Let me thank you very much from the bottom of my heart because you kept me from carrying my black ass to jail that night because I did threaten a whole bunch of lives out there because nothing was going to stop me. There was a house next door to our house that got busted for drugs and animals and a lot of inhumane stuff. Well, this cop had to have riot control, and I helped him out here. He helped me out there. So, to that officer, thank you very much. And that only let me know that there are some good cops out there. So, and hell, he even came with the keys and hooked my handcuffs after this little shit. And they locked the guy up that hit me in the face. And so I'm sitting there and I was like, man, I've never seen these guys. They were from North Carolina or South Carolina, wherever the fuck Tony was at the time. And I told him, I was like, man, I ain't never seen these motherfuckers a day in my life. This is supposed to be my cousin's car. And clearly, it wasn't my cousin's car. So after this story, I'll make a third video of this. After that, the cop was like, well, this guy doesn't do anything. He goes to college. He trains in his backyard in Kung Fu. And he's not in trouble. He works 2 jobs, man. This guy's not a bad guy. So they gave him the key. He unlocked me. And the other guy was talking. I was like, look, just keep away from me, man. Because if you get in striking distance, them cuffs are going to be back on. And I'm going to fucking hurt you. I was like, y'all don't fucking know me, man. If that seatbelt wouldn't have been trapped up, so your brother be going to the hospital right now. and you might be in the same ambulance riding along beside him in a gurney. As for my cousin, his little ass be going to the morgue. And I say that, but he was actually bigger than me. They're all bigger than me. Who's not bigger than me? So I got released, and I had to walk all the way to fuck home from Round Road all the way back over here to Rougemont. My eyes bleeding, my glasses is in my hand, and my bros, two best friends, are laughing their asses off because I'm leaking. So, no, no more good deeds do I do. And the thing is, they locked me up in handcuffs without even like really giving me a chance. If it wasn't for that cop, I probably would have been arrested. But the cop got my ass out. So racial profiling is a fucking issue that they really need to address. You know, and the thing is, cops need access to our criminal background. I don't give a damn. When we give our driver's license, you know, they should be able to swipe our driver's license. They should be able to take this thing right here, and with that little code on the back, they should be able to swipe that. Okay, Mr. Williams, you had like 7 or 8 speeding tickets. They've all been paid for, so you're good. And any other criminal activity I have should be right there on that thing. Not a murderer. Could have been. Not a murderer. And now as a former soldier, I'm just thinking ahead of the box. And it's like things like this make people not want to be anywhere near cops. But see, my cousin got me involved in some shit I had no business being involved in. My heart was too big. Now my heart's not that big anymore. For that simple reason, I do not do good deeds anymore. Because sometimes helping people hurts you. It's a hard lesson that I've had to learn. Now, we're going to go on to the third video because this has made it past the 15-minute mark.